Alrighty, and we are live. Welcome back to the Women's International Music Network podcast series we call Live Front and Center. I am your host, Mickey Angeline. Today, this one is a little long overdue, and that's on me. I have in studio the incredible Joanne Pierdomenko. She is the co-founder of Keep Music Alive, among many other
Thank you.
things that work hard at introducing and inspiring young people to get into music, especially those who might not have had the opportunity to learn about instruments, to learn about the joys and the healing factor and the energy of music. And I say this because Joanne and I, we met NAMM 2017, and that was your first year at the She Rocks Awards, correct, Joanne?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And it was amazing.
Amazing.
And we've gone every year since.
Because it's so amazing. So
Yeah.
you co-found this with your husband, correct?
Yes, Vincent James.
Vincent James.
Yeah, Vincent James. That's actually what we call his stage name because he has been a performer for many, many years. And it was just so much easier to put Vincent James up on a marquee than Vincent Pierdomenico. So he goes by Vincent James, but I have inherited his last name.
Perfect. And so now I know about Keep Music Alive because what you have let us know is that it was inspired from something even before that. So let's start at the beginning and then we'll lead into, because there's a lot we're going to go over today, everybody. We're going to chalk what we can in this 30 minutes about everything that Joanne and James do, and you don't want to miss this. So we're going to kick this off with the fact that it all started with a book.
Yes, as a matter of fact, this is the book. 88 Plus Ways Music Can Change Your Life. And it really came about one day when Vincent was listening to a webcast about how everyone has a book in them. And he really had thought about, well, what could I write about? I mean, yeah, I write songs. We have lovesongs.com, which is what he uses to create love songs for people around the world for like birthdays and anniversaries and things like that. But he was like, I could write about that. I could write about songwriting, but that's not so exciting. And I really don't want to write about something that's about me. I want to write about something that can benefit other people in some way, shape, or form. So during this webinar that he was listening to, it was like a bolt of lightning hit him. And he was like, well, what if we write a book about inspirational stories of how music has affected people's lives? And so we thought about that, and it was really exciting because it's like a chicken soup for the music lover soul.
Oh, I love that.
Book, and it doesn't exist. I know, because Jack Canfield, who is the co-creator of the Chicken Soup series, actually provided the foreword to 88 Plus Ways Music Can Change Your Life Volume 1. And he said it reads just like, a chicken soup for the music lover soul. And he was so happy to endorse it that he provided the foreword for it. So that idea came around in 2014 to write the book. In 9 months, we reached out to over 6,000 people. In 9 months, we reached out to all those people. Yep. And we received the stories, we edited the stories, and we had the book out in 9 months because we really wanted to have it out in the summer.
I'm sure
of
you had
15.
a shortage of people that were wanting to be in the book as well.
Oh, there was definitely great stories and a lot of people, contributing to it. We ended up initially with 168 stories, which was what we found out through time in the industry was that's way too big. You need to shorten your book, make it a little smaller so it's more readable, like bite-sized pieces. So we ended up having to do that. The first edition is still out there and will always be out there because there's still wonderful stories in there, but we had to condense it. So there is a second edition out there right now, which is a smaller number of stories. Stories in there are from people who had so much going on in their lives, and music was their way to help them through life. Some of the stories in there are people who consider taking their own lives,
Ooh.
but music is
Yeah.
what got them through it. We found out that it was very therapeutic for people to write stories and to send them in. Some of the stories the people had never told anyone else before, and they felt that it was time for them to be able to do that. So we have all kinds of stories, from, you know, silly, happy stories to ones that just give you such goosebumps. They'll make you laugh, they'll make you cry, they'll make you go, oh, wow, you know, like something like that really happened. And the stories that we got are just amazing. And as a matter of fact, we were very fortunate to receive a number of contributions from celebrities, you know, sending in stories to promote us. We were no one. Nobody had ever heard of us before, but they knew what our mission was. And at the time, we were donating 50% of the proceeds of the book to other music nonprofits. We now are donating 80% of the proceeds. Yes, because it's not
Good for
about
you.
us.
Good for
Thank you
you.
so much.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not about us. It's how we can help other people. And so we have people who contributed stories like Simon Kirk from Bad Company and Free. We have Rob Parisi from Wild Cherry, Played Up Funky Music.
Yes.
Mark King from Level 42,
Oh, wow.
Vanessa Carlton. So yeah,
You
some
have
really
all
great.
different genres and generations, which is so key because
Absolutely.
music has evolved so differently for people, not just, you know, that generational gap from technology. So that's really great that you can reach into that archive. Sounds like your stories are so powerful too in that book.
Oh, they
Well, I
are.
mean, I know
They're
because I read a lot of them, but try to
That's
act like
good. I'm
I know.
glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, there are some in there that just, they really touch your heart, you know. And sometimes when I think about some of the stories, I actually start to
Tear up.
well up. So I don't
Mhm.
want to get too much in the stories, but I will tell you, you can view some of those stories from Amazon.com. There's a
Okay.
look inside feature, and people can
Good.
read some of the stories there. So it's available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, which is BNN, Books-A-Million.com, and just amazing stories. And we're actually currently working on volume 2, which will be released in December, and we have some interesting submissions. We have some pretty interesting people that contributed pieces for it. We have Dan Aykroyd, who,
What?
yep, Dan Aykroyd, Britney
Okay.
Spears.
Okay.
Um, Off the top of my head, I am so bad at like remembering names, but we have some really great people. We have Tim Russ. Um, yeah, just it's just like, it's wonderful that they support us so much, that they believe in what we're doing, you know, as authors and as founders of Keep Music Alive. And so we really appreciate their support in with their contributions.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of people that believe in what you do. Renee in the chat actually says, "Great work, ladies." Thank you for that, Renee. Giving you a shout out to us.
Oh,
So then,
yay, yay, Renee.
so this book is the reason that Keep Music Alive organization even happened, right? So let's now
Yes.
jump to that. What I will do is, so that you all can see it, I'm going to share the screen and allow Joanne to kind of narrate us through all the great things they have going on with this organization. I tell you, it's just chocked full of great stuff. So here we go. So here we are with the website here.
Yeah. So what you
Look at
see here with these children holding instruments is the musical instrument petting zoos that Keep Music Alive does. Most of them are local, but we do travel for some of them. This one here was at a local library, and this one was at a festival, a summer festival. This was for a private school that we went in and did one for. This is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we do them at theaters, libraries, festivals, you know, wherever it is that people want us to come in and introduce children to musical instruments. Which is one of my most favorite things that I do, because when I see a child's face light up, I just melt and that's my most favorite thing that I love to do with Keep Music Alive. So this year marks our 5th annual Kids Music Day. And
Yes, I see this here.
Kids Music Day was a holiday that we started 5 years ago. And what we do is we partner with, this year was over 1,100 locations around the world to hold events and promotions that benefit and celebrate children playing music. And some of the events that they did were drive-in concerts, like through,
Oh,
in a
wow.
parking lot. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they would do open mics for kids. They would hold Facebook watch parties for events that they had done for children. They would do live, virtual open houses and music trivia and virtual instrument petting zoos, which is more like a musical show and tell. So there was a whole lot of things. Some places provided free music lessons. So that's really awesome, because that's really a great way to get a child involved, is by giving them a free music lessons. They can put their hands on it and see if it's something they want to do.
Look at these photos. Oh my goodness. This is like NAMM for children.
Yes,
They look
yes.
so thrilled. They look so
Yeah.
excited. And this is so key, because you and I both know, and many people watching and listening, since they've removed art, music, even physical education from public school systems, organizations like yours are so important and vital to remind children, not even remind, but introduce them to a healthy, creative way that is so, to express yourself. Right?
Absolutely,
Oh
absolutely.
my gosh, look at this. It's so adorable. I love this.
Yeah, we just can't get enough of it. I mean, some of the things that we did, one of the things that we did after the musical instrument petting zoo was finished was we would hold a percussion parade. So every child would get a
Aw.
percussion instrument, and we would parade around the school or the yard or wherever it was that we were, and the children got to play. And they were just so excited. They're like so excited. They were, number one, being able to touch an instrument. Number two, being able to play around with it. Number
Right?
three,
Because as
being
a
able,
kid, how many
yeah,
times are we told, "Don't touch that. Don't mess with that.
exactly,
No, put that
exactly.
down." And
And
they're
as
like,
a
"Oh my gosh, we can touch everything and play with it for as long as we want today?"
And
Oh,
that's the funny thing about it, was like we did Legoland. We've done a few of those, and we were supposed to do a few more this year, but then COVID happened. But
yeah.
at the Legoland, we had this one beautiful room for the musical instrument petting zoo, and we were standing at the entrance welcoming the families to come in, and the parents are like, "Oh no, don't touch, don't touch." I'm like, "Oh no, no, absolutely touch.
Please touch.
Come in,
Look at
touch
this
and
little one right
play."
here. I am digging
Yeah.
her because she's making that little ukulele look like a big old guitar.
Yes.
And she's holding it like she knows what she's doing. Let me tell you what, like
Yeah.
she knows what she's doing. You go.
For that one, that's one of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
Oh, that's so
instrument petting zoos that we did.
amazing.
And we actually had students from the local School of Rock locations come in, and they were volunteers with us. And they were teaching children how to play the ukulele, how to play
Yes.
the electric guitar, the keyboards, the different percussion instruments. Yeah, this one's at a local library as well.
So then, okay, so now that we've gotten into that, let's talk about, you also host what you call music holidays. You have a Teach Music Week, which happens in March, and then you also have a Kids Music Day, which happens in October.
Right. So we touched briefly on the Kids Music Day.
Yeah.
Kids Music Day, that was something that, started, as I said, 5 years ago. And initially there were only a handful of locations in maybe like the tri-state area of Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, and maybe a few scattered across the country. But within just a couple of years, we were able to reach all 50 states. And then a few years ago, we went international. So we would
Look
have,
at you. Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, it just depends on the year. Sometimes we'll have locations from Switzerland or England or Croatia or Nigeria. These are opportunities for children to be able to learn about music, and then, and depending on what event is being held, show off what they know, show what you know. And the kids get so excited to be able to do that. And as a matter of fact, for this year, for Kids Music Day, we went on Zoom with the Beaconite International School of Music for Children in Nigeria. And they actually did a musical instrument petting zoo, and it was live. So everyone around the world could see it. And the children played music with the different instruments, whether it was a recorder, a clarinet,
Wow.
you know, it was awesome. And with today's technology, it made it, I think, so much easier for so many people or schools and stores and organizations to participate because it was virtual. They didn't have to like physically go somewhere. They didn't have to have like a ton of people together at one time. They were all able to hold these events, and anyone around the world could view them. So that was exciting. And then for Teach Music Week, that was actually the first music holiday that we started. And this coming March will be the 7th annual Teach Music Week. And that started with Vincent basically just going on social media, to all his Facebook friends saying, hey, it's Teach Music Week, pick up your guitar and, visit your neighbor or the kid next door or, a cousin or something, teach them how to play.
Inspiring community. Oh, I love that.
Exactly. And it just started with that. And then that started to grow as well. And that is also international. So we have
I was
Teach
going to say,
Music Week.
Did this year, did it change at all for you because of COVID and all the shutdown, or did it make it more accessible for what you have to offer?
It definitely made it more accessible, but for some locations, it was more difficult, just depending on their situation and what, how many families were going to be able to participate or how many staff was going to be able to assist. And it depended on their resources as well, but we've had more this year than ever. I think the highest number we had was like close to 850 on any given year. This year, almost 1,200.
That's incredible.
Locations around the world. Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking though, as far as you now, did you have to nix the petting zoo idea? Did you try to get creative and find? Well,
no,
I guess you couldn't even find
that was one of the big things to do was the instrument petting zoos, musical instrument petting zoos. Basically,
no, I meant now
like
this year.
Show and tell.
No, I meant like this year because of COVID. Because of COVID. You still did
there was more doing it. So when we did it live, it was just us and our volunteers, but it was virtual. So anybody could see it from around the world. There were some libraries across because we streamed it live from a library, and it was streamed from other libraries across the country, so other people could see it. We also did a really cool giveaway through Matthew Morrison, who is our official spokesperson for the 5th annual Kids Music Day. He donated and autographed 2 of his personal ukuleles from his personal collection.
Wow.
And we gave them away at the Musical Instrument Petting Zoo. Like we drew numbers. People signed up online. Everyone was assigned a number. And then we drew the numbers at the end. So there were 2 very lucky winners winning autographed ukuleles from Matthew Morrison of Glee and Broadway.
I was going to say, for those who don't know Glee, because when we were on the screen, that's who you were referring to. That's incredible. He just seems like the nicest guy. And I even pulled up your little PDF there because it mentioned you had some big names that were ambassadors that included Julie Andrews, Jack Black, and Nancy.
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Pat Benatar, Neil Grohl. I mean, Kenny Loggins, Richie Sambora. Like, talk to me about this. What?
So
Sarah McLachlan. What?
These are all amazing people who understood the value of what we were aiming to do. And by lending their name and image as Kids Music Day ambassadors, it was helping to open doors so that more people would be willing, like the media would be willing to write more about it and share it with their communities. So that way the families in their communities could learn more about what was offered in their areas. So they were just amazing. And as a matter of fact, Matthew Morrison did a Kids Music Day presentation on the Grammy Museum YouTube channel, and it's still available for a little while longer. And he talks about the importance of music and music education for children. He talks about how it was important to him from the time he was a child. He does some performances off his brand new album called Disney Dreamin'. And then mixed in within that presentation, there's a really cool, funny video from Jack Black talking about Kids Music Day. And then a little bit further way through, there's a beautiful message from Vanessa Williams within that video as well. So if you get the chance, you can just go on to Grammy Museum on YouTube, go to the Grammy Museum, and you'll see there that they have a Matthew Morrison Kids Music Day video presentation that he did just for us.
You said dreamy or dreamy?
Dreamin'.
Okay, dreamin'. Okay, I just needed to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yeah, dreaming. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just, that's so, wait, dreamin' what?
Yeah.
Well,
Disney Dreamin'. Yeah, he's a big fan of Disney music. And so he put together an album of some of his favorite Disney songs. Aww. And you'll see if you go and you watch that video, how he incorporates video of family, because family is so very important to him. How his life has changed so much since the birth of his baby boy. And he's just totally a family man, and I think such a role model for many people. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so then now into the next part, you also mentioned, because by the way, I forgot to get a shout out to Philly because you're on the East Coast.
Oh yeah, East Coast.
House, because I'm over here on the West Coast, on Northern California. You're on the East Coast. You mentioned that you run Philadelphia chapters in the area for Make Music Day and Make Music Day Winter, right?
Sure. So Make Music Day is another music holiday that originated in France in the mid 1980s, and has been working its way around the world. And it is in way more countries than Kids Music Day, but we're catching up slowly but surely. But Make Music Day is a wonderful opportunity for people to be a part of music in their communities. A lot of times, it'll be just people jamming on their porch. It'll be something as big as something going on at a park, and everyone is bringing their instruments together to play. So for the Philadelphia area, Keep Music Alive took on the Make Music Day chapter for regular Make Music Day and Make Music Day Winter. Which is something a little relatively new. That's only been the last couple of years. But Aaron, who is the fellow that runs Make Music Day as a whole, he started it here in the US about 11 years ago. And, through blood, sweat, and tears, he has grown Make Music Day into this amazing opportunity for everyone to celebrate music on Make Music Day, which is on the summer solstice every year. And then for Make Music Winter, it's on the winter solstice.
There it is. That is beautiful. Okay. And then lastly, as we wrap this up, and that was so much for anyone who is watching, and that was a whole lot. I did have the website right there, keepmusicalive.org, because you want to check it out. You want to see, and you may even want to participate. You may want to either volunteer, become a part of it. Please reach out.
Oh yeah, we're always looking for volunteers for a variety of different things, whether it's the musical instrument petting zoos. We also look for website help. We look for all kinds of things because we are a nonprofit, and the limited resources that we have come through the fundraising that we do, whether it's Facebook fundraisers, whether someone does one for their birthday or just for the heck of it because they want to support Keep Music Alive. People do Facebook fundraisers. So that's where the bulk of the money that we use to promote Kids Music Day and Teach Music Week, it comes from people doing Facebook fundraisers.
There you go. And then, all right. So let's talk about the importance of why all this even exists, right? The whole reason you created the Make Music Alive.
Right. The Keep Music Alive with its Teach Music Week holiday and the Kids Music Day holiday is because we know the importance of music in children's lives. Everything from just making them happier because they know how to play an instrument, all the way down to the core things, which learning how to play a musical instrument helps children academically, whether it's in science, reading, math, all these things. Music really contributes to a child's learning. And not only if they're practicing instruments, learning to play an instrument now, not only does it help them now academically, but it helps them further down the line in whatever career path they choose. Because a lot of today's and yesterday's well-known people like Einstein are people who credit music education as to that being a core piece of them and them being able to be as successful as they are. So in addition to that, there are so many children who sometimes feel like outsiders because for whatever reason they feel like they don't fit in with a specific clique or group or class or what have you. But learning to play an instrument, being part of a music class with other children who are learning to do the same thing as you, they build self-confidence. It really does so much for a child, for bringing them out of their shells, helping them to be happier, helping them feel like they belong as part of something. And I know that with we have 4 children, and our 2 youngest ones were both in chorus for many, many years. And then they did marching band. Yeah, they did marching band. And being part of that marching band family, I think was really important because that helped them to gain the confidence that they needed and make new friends and things like that. So, children who are part of these music classes, it's not competitive. It's joint because each child is contributing something to that little concert that is happening. You have some children playing clarinet, you have some children playing keys, and they're all together like a family, and they're all coming together to create a beautiful song. It's not competitive. It's complementary to each other. And I think the children gain so much from that, from knowing that they don't have to compete, but that they're actually part of something beautiful and wonderful.
Oh, I could not have said it better. That was beautiful. And you're right. So, I want to thank you again for being on here and sharing, Joanne, your beautiful organization. You and James, this is an incredible organization. I'm happy to hear that it's just growing exponentially since we first met. NAMM
it's blossoming
2017. For sure. And we brought up about She Rocks because as I mentioned to you off camera, we still are having it. So those of you watching, it will be viral this year. So
can't wait.
Thank you. Yeah, neither can we. So to keep updated with it, we ask that you go to our website at thewomen.com. I probably should throw that up so that you click onto our newsletter, right? I think newsletters are so key because in the world of algorithms with Facebook and Instagram, newsletters like that, right? Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channels because not only do we offer this wonderful podcast live front and center, we also do a She Rock Spotlight. We also have an audio podcast that we do. So, keeping you engaged, but look out for it because we are going to be there January and it will be viral. And the website is there for Joanne and James, keepmusicalive.org. Please visit their website. Volunteer.
Thank you so much for having us.
And thank you for being here, dear. Keep us posted on things coming up so we can share it in future on the website and everything.
Absolutely.
Awesome. This is Mickey Angeline with the Women's International Music Network. Thanking you all for joining us and